Hello, sysfailure here again. Welcome back to the Ultimate Command series. In today's episode, we're having a look at the Spreadplayers command, that's /spreadplayers. As with previous episode, this entire world is downloadable in the description below, and the syntax of the commands is just here inside these little command blocks up here. Now, the point of the Spreadplayers command is to teleport one or more players or entities to a point in space and spread them around it. And the point is on the X and the Z, so that's Z and that's X. Y doesn't come into it, which is unusual, because it will put them on the highest block anywhere within the area, no matter how high or how low it is, as long as it's the highest one. Spreadplayers, for those curious, first came in snapshot 13W23A or first release 1.6.1. And I also apologise if I sound croaky, as I managed to get myself a chest infection, but I'm sure I can pull this off. So let's have a look at the Spreadplayers command. So this is the Spreadplayers command. So it starts off with Spreadplayers, then you have your X coordinate, which is over there, that little blue block, and that is our Z, which is also that blue block over there. Now, as mentioned, there is no Y, as they will always put them on the highest possible block in the world at wherever it puts them, really. So if the highest block's 200 blocks in the air, that's where they're going. The next part, this is a spread distance. So in the case if you're spreading multiple people, or sheep, as we're going to be using here, that's how close they can be to each other. So the higher the number, that's the larger the distance to be together. So 0 means they can be right on top of each other. If I put, say, 10, they couldn't be any closer than 10 blocks. Now, this next one is a maximum range. So that is 6 blocks from the XZ point. So if you were to put this number actually larger than that, the command would break and it just wouldn't run. So that always has to be at least one smaller than that one. Next part is the respecting teams. So if it's false and you had, say, 10 players, 5 on each team, it will just randomly spread them around. If it's true, then it will put all the people from the same team in the same place as each other. And finally, the players you are selecting, which in this case are entities in a radius of 25 of that point where the command's being run, and of type sheep. So I've got a bunch of sheep here, and I've all assigned them names and teams. So we've got yellow team over here, the green team, blue team, and as you imagine, that's probably the red team over there. So let's give it a poke and find out what happens. So press that, and as you can see, they've been shuttled around a bit. These two have been set to the exact same point, as our minimum distance is 0. Give it another poke. There we go, been reshuffled again. And as you can see, this one is now up on one of these blocks, as the point that he's been sent to is here in the world, and the highest possible Y is there. And that will keep happening as we shuffle them around. It will occasionally end up there. See, we've got 2 of them up there now. This one is slightly different. So it's identical in every respect, except we've changed the one here, the spread distance, to be 4. So they have to be at least 4 blocks apart. So if we look back at the minimum one, 2.43, it will say in the output is the average. So over there, the average distance between players, 2.43. Whereas this one, having a minimum of 4, means that it cannot be any lower, and it actually runs multiple iterations to try and put them in a position that'll actually fit. So if I do that again, you will see they're substantially more spread out. In fact, the size of the area here is reasonably equal compared to that one, where those are clumped together. In this case, they're an average of 4.23 blocks apart. Next little bit we're going to look here is Spreadplayers random entity. So it's just the same command, not respecting teams, and I'm targeting a random entity of sheep. And if I press a button, one random sheep will travel around. As you can see. Now, these couple of ones I want to show you, they're a little bit odd when it comes to mobs. So this one's a little bit long, so let's have a look at it. So we've got spread players, about that point again, minimum from each other 4, maximum from the point 6, and not respecting teams. Now, these entities, at radius 25, I'm selecting them by team. So team equals red sheep, and team equals blue sheep. So the red team and the blue team, press the button. As you can see, they're the only ones that are getting moved around. They have been assigned to actual teams in scoreboard objectives called red team and blue team. So they're clearly on those teams, and if I was to assign myself to be one of their teams, I would get teleported around as well. It sort of breaks down when you come to respect teams. As I mentioned earlier, respect teams will put everybody on the same team in the same place. As mentioned, these are all on different teams, so red, yellow, blue, green. So when you get spread around, you should get 4 clumps, because we've said respect teams true. But press the button now. There we go. Yeah. At the moment, and let's imagine it must be a bug surely, because you can assign them teams quite clearly, all mobs are also technically on the same team. Even if I didn't assign them a team whatsoever, they would all still clump together. So if I had another just random sheep, it would end up with those ones. Don't respect teams and only do red and blue, and red and blue are moving around happily. So I suspect that's a bug. But if it was to be players, then like that would be the red team, there may be the blue over there, green there, yellow there, but they'd all be clumped together. So that is a spread players command. Fairly simple concept, really. As mentioned earlier, is available to download in the description below. And before my voice totally gives out on me, if you do have any other sort of comments or queries, as per usual, comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. And as per usual, thanks for watching, and bye-bye. Right, so it's a little platformer game, and I quite like the art style, actually. This is your cheery mind, and in case you didn't know, space does not actually jump. The amount of times I keep hitting space every time I want to jump. But what that does is just switch back and forth between the